All right, let's give a couple more minutes to see if other people join. Feel free to add topics to the agenda as well. There's only one scrub item so far. If Michael joins. All right. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't realize it was you. Right, so it's 4 minutes past, so let's get started. Welcome everybody to the October 23rd SIG Multicluster call. And today, well, I added kept 5339 to the scrub. Ryan suggested that. So do you want to talk about that? You can share your screen if you want.
Yeah. So just give me a second. Let me
Yeah.
set everything up. Before I begin, is my screen legible enough? Do you prefer
Yeah.
if I
Yeah,
zoom
it's
it?
fine. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, that's
Uh,
fine as is. Thanks.
mm, so much. Yeah. So I submitted this relatively small PR to address a concern we had when using the cluster profile enhanced multi-cluster authentication flow. So the background about this PR is that so at this moment when we use the cluster profile to enhance the authentication process in a multi-cluster session, we need to provide a cluster struct inside the cluster profile object. And inside this cluster object, there's this field extensions, which is originally designed to hold some additional information that can help facilitate the authentication process. It's usually the place where cluster-specific information can go. But the tricky part is this interface itself is a little bit tricky to use. So the general flow about this field or how this field is used is that in KEP 541, it mentions that in this specific field, the author of the KEP reserves an extension name, client.authentication.kubernetes.io/execute, and we can put data, arbitrary data, under this extension name. And all the data put there will be parsed and populated into a execute config struct. I have the struct open here so that you can, as everyone can see here, this is a struct that basically tells us which binary to invoke. It also specifies the argument to supply to the binary, the environment variables to set up, and for the extension data, it will reside here in this config field. And you can see that in the comment here, it already gives an example of how this field should be used. And once this config field is set, uh, when libraries like client Go calls this execute config struct, it will extract the data and put it in an environment variable called Kubernetes underscore execute underscore info. Now this environment variable will include the extension data alongside a whole collection of various information, including the API server address, the CA bundle, etc. And once it being put into this environment variable, any binary can read this. Usually it's the execute plugin who read this variable, and it can extract the data from there. But the thing is, as everyone might already realize, with this all those explanation, this interface itself is a little bit difficult to use. There's a lot of parsing, there's a lot of transportation of the data, a lot of different interfaces, and a major concern is that the usage of this environment variable, Kubernetes underscore and execute underscore info, over execute most of execute plugins in general are not mandated to support this variable. I know a lot of plugins who will just simply ignore this variable altogether. I mean, this variable itself is optional by design, as we can see from the. Oh, sorry, I hate this. Okay. As we can see here in the execute config struct, the authors, the Kubernetes authors even provided a flag that basically says that if you set this flag to false, then the environment variable won't be set at all. Because it has a CA bundle, sometimes the data can be too large to be saved into environment variable. There are other concerns as well. So basically, usage of this environment variables is not guaranteed. Like I mentioned, that many execute plugins don't support that, and even for those who do support that, usually they just read a tiny bit of data from that. Azure's Kubernetes login plugin, for example, will only read the API version from this variable. It will ignore all the other information. So it's a terrible place for extension data. And in a multi-cluster setting, it's really critical for us to have some kind of flexibility, to have some place where we can actually specify cluster-specific information when doing the authentication. There are a few common use cases. For example, if I'm using a federated authentication-based workflow, I need to basically tell for this specific cluster, I need to use this specific client ID. I need to use this specific tenant ID, etc. Or if I'm using a token-based authentication workflow, it's a common practice for different clusters to expect different audiences. And we need to specify those audience information on a per cluster basis as well. So we really need a place where we can specify cluster-specific info. And we know that most execute plugins will read all those information from the CLI argument or from the environment variables. That's why we proposes in this PR that we reserve two more names in this extension field, multicluster dot Kubernetes.io slash cluster profile slash execute slash additional args, and there's another name slash additional environment variables. So basically, people can specify additional CLI argument or additional environment variables in under those two names. We put a strong requirement on how those data should be formatted, and we further dictate that our community provided library will extract the data when it sees those two extension names, and it will add those CLI arguments, all those environment variables to the execute plug. To the execute config struct in their expected destinations when calling the binary. So that's a major purpose of this PR, basically to enhance the current workflow to allow more flexibility, especially when handling cluster-specific data. And during the when composing this PR, many contributors in the community like Coryton and Chujian, they all and Ryan, they all give me some very useful feedbacks. And one of their one of the very valid concerns they have raised was about the security. So in this PR, we also proposed that in the community provided library, we'll be providing kind of like a mode parameter that basically allow people to say, when we call this, when we call a specific execute plugin, we'll be able to ignore all the two additional extension data. So basically guarantee that it is a caller of the community library. The application itself has the ultimate control on whether the additional data can be used or not. So that's a major purpose of this PR. Yeah, and that's pretty much all about that. I saw that Stephen, you have kindly posted a comment on the PR. I will add the examples as you have requested to better explain how it works on a general level.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, so this well, so when I was looking at the PR, it felt to me like it was obviously came from some difficulty that you had trying to actually use this in practice, and so that's why I thought you probably had an actual concrete example in mind, because it's the PR itself, the changes to the KEP, they seem well constructed to me and well thought out. But I thought it would be interesting to see an example to make it clear that it's well, I mean, so the explanations in the PR show why all this is useful and necessary. But the idea behind asking for an example is to make sure that it's sufficient as well, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I don't
The
understand.
the the change,
Yeah.
yeah. And you mentioned too the idea of providing a library to handle all this. Is this something you've already started working on as well, or would that
Oh
come
yeah,
later?
by the community provided library, I'm actually talking about the existing library, in
All
the
right,
cluster.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, in the cluster inventory API.
yeah,
Yeah. So later on there'll be a PR on that to implement this,
yeah.
I imagine. Yeah.
Mm, exactly.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for the explanations. And yeah, it definitely makes sense to me. Like I said, it seems, in my comment, it looks good to me. And I don't see any reason not to approve this. It's just it would be good to have an example in the KEP as well.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you
I'll
very
finish
much.
it as soon as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's no rush. Well, obviously, I imagine you'd like to get this in sooner rather than later, but yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much. I will stop
So
sharing.
I'll take a look. Yep. And I'll take a look at that again as soon as you update the PR. And I'll encourage others to look at it in the main call. Well, since Ryan and Corentin are involved too, I expect there shouldn't be any trouble getting both the /LGTM and the /approve. Right, and so there's nothing else in the agenda. So if no one else has any topics to add, we can end now. Going once, going twice. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining, and have a good rest of the week, and I'll see you next time.
Thanks so much. Bye.
Bye.